Three mysteries that still baffle investigators. Imagine hijacking a plane, collecting $200,000 in ransom money, and jumping out of that same plane in the middle of the night, never to be seen again. Well, that's exactly what happened in one of the most infamous unsolved crimes in American history. Hey, what's up? I'm Chandrea. And over the years, as a journalist, I've covered a lot of crime stories. And one thing that I can tell you that I've learned is that sometimes investigators can follow every single lead, they can interview all the witnesses they could find, and they can examine every piece of evidence in a case, and they still can't actually fully explain what happened. In this episode of my new true crime series, I look at three mysteries that left investigators simply scratching their heads. Now, the first one involves a man who hijacked a Boeing 727. I say that's not an easy task. It's called the D.B. Cooper hijacking. Before we get into all the details of this case, there is one thing that makes it especially fascinating. The man who committed this perfect crime at the time may have actually gotten away with it. On November 24th, 1971, the day before Thanksgiving, a man using the name Dan Cooper boarded a Northwest Orient Airlines flight, the flight number 305 in Portland, Oregon. Witnesses at the time described him as a calm and quiet man in his 40s, wearing a simple suit and carrying a briefcase. He also wore some dark sunglasses, but apparently nothing about him seemed suspicious. Shortly after the plane took off that particular day, Cooper handed a note to one of the flight attendants. Now, at first, she thought, oh, this is just a phone number, something that passengers would occasionally do with flight attendants on planes. But Cooper leaned forward and quietly told her something that immediately changed the entire situation. He told her she should read the note because he had a bomb. When she looked inside of his briefcase, she saw what appeared to be sticks of dynamite. Can you imagine how freaked out she was? And these sticks of dynamite were connected to wires. Cooper then calmly made his demand. Now, he wanted $200,000 in cash and 4 parachutes waiting for him when the plane landed in Seattle. Authorities at that time did not take any chances, and when that plane landed, the passengers were released. Cooper received his ransom money along with the parachutes that he requested. They gave the man what he wanted. But the story didn't end there. Cooper ordered the pilots back into the air and told them to fly towards Mexico. And then somewhere over the forest of the Pacific Northwest, he lowered the rear staircase of the plane, strapped on a parachute, and then tied the ransom money to himself and jumped off the plane into the dark of night. Despite one of the largest manhunts in FBI history,